there, welcome back. I'm Kimberly Joy. Today I'm going to talk about something that took me a very long time to learn. And that is not worrying about what people think. You can't live the life that you want and really love the life that you live if everything you do is done to meet other people's expectations. You can't live the life that you want and really love the life that you live if everything you do is done to meet other people's expectations. Does that make sense? I know when I was younger, of course, we're all just trying to fit in and all that kind of thing, but I noticed even when I was older, I was like a chameleon. I was just, I would be whoever I needed to be for the people I was around. And that got exhausting. And I think it actually fed into some of my anxiety over the years, social anxiety. But I'm here to tell you that after 50, that kind of goes out the window. Most of us, especially us Gen Xers and a little bit older, were raised to be people pleasers, to, children are to be seen and not heard and that kind of thing. Growing up, you were just raised to meet other people's expectations, your teachers, your parents, whatever. It wasn't what you wanted, it's what they wanted of you. And there was always kind of like this invisible checklist from the moment you got old enough to make decisions. You're going to have the career, you're going to have the family, you're going to be the parent, you're going to have the house, you're going to have the car. All these expectations of what a successful life looks like to society. But those things aren't what a successful life is. A successful life is being happy, is being content. Obviously we need the basics, food and shelter and love, but meeting those societal expectations should not be your only goal in life, because then you're always chasing and you're never content. And if you're constantly striving after that checklist, you're going to have another checklist that's going to include burnout, resentment, exhaustion, and disappointment. So I challenge you to ask yourself, who are you living for right now? Are you living for your kids? Are you still trying to meet those expectations of your parents if they're still with us? Are you trying to meet expectations of colleagues? Are you happy? Are you happy with the checklist that you're living for? If you are, then you can just shut this off now and it doesn't matter. But I think a lot of people aren't, and that's sad. It's important to come to the realization that other people's expectations are temporary, depending on where you're at, who you're with, what those people are, what their expectations are. But your life is permanent, and your happiness should be permanent. So chasing after expectations that are fleeting are just a really quick way to wear yourself out. I have found that people are going to judge you no matter what. So live your life for you. Live for now. Live for what makes you happy. As long as you're not hurting anybody else, live for yourself. You may as well make choices in your life that are things that you love, things that you want in your life. And don't think that you want, for instance, you may want a certain lifestyle because that's what you've been told through media, through other people, through society. And then you get it, and it's really not what you wanted at all. I've made that mistake lots of times where I've made big changes in my life or hit these big goals. And then once I got there, it was like, no, because I got a little secret for you. And it's not so much of a secret once you're our age, is wherever you go, there you are. So don't think that the next goal is going to be what makes you happy. You need to learn to be happy where you're at. And a lot of that comes from making choices that make you happy, not what you think is going to make you look better in other people's eyes. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your happiness. If you want to live with 42 cats in a camping trailer, then do it. You don't have to explain it to anybody. I remember when I was in the church back in the day, and they would say, it's our job to exclaim it, not explain it. it's kind of that way. I mean, let's wash that away, because that's not always so true. But that's how your life is. It's not your job to explain to other people what makes you happy or why you live the way you live, because it's none of their beeswax. It's your life. And as long as you're not hurting anyone or putting somebody else out, live your life. Do what you want to do. If you want to wear a purple Cosby sweater from the 80s because it makes you happy, then do it. If you want to paint your house purple, which I did, by the way, then do it if it makes you happy. Now, if you have an HOA, this is why I don't live with HOAs anymore, but that might be a problem. But I did it twice. I did it in the house when I was married in an HOA. And of course, after that, they had rules about what color you could paint your house. I think I started that. But then when I moved into my other house, I painted it purple too. And okay, disclaimer, it wasn't like super great purple. It was like a deep eggplant natural purple. It was beautiful, and don't tell me any different. It made me happy. When you stop seeking permission, you start finding your peace. I've always been of the old tale that it's easier to ask forgiveness than it is permission. This is how I do buildings. This is how I do projects. It's like, well, if I ask the county, then they're going to make me wait 6 months for some kind of permit. I'll just do it. And then when they find me, I'll just pay and we'll be done with it. But that's just me. That's just me. So how do you start letting go? Start to notice what voice is in your head when you're making a decision. Is it your voice, or is it everyone else's voices around you telling you what you should do, or what's going to make them happy, or how are you going to look in this person's eyes? Practice just saying no without over-explaining. I know that's been a hard one for me. I used to be kind of known as the social butterfly, and I just go here and go there and do that. But now I don't like to do that so much. My social gas tank gets empty a lot faster than it used to. And I'm having still trouble with saying no to things that I don't really want to do until the last minute, which is even worse. Like someone will invite me to go someplace and I'll be like, oh yeah, that sounds great. But then the night of, I'll cancel. And that's not cool. I need to start learning to just before I respond immediately, yeah, that sounds good, think it through. Is this something I'm really going to enjoy? Is this something I really want to do? Am I saying yes just so I can be part of the cool group? Or would I rather just stay with my dog? So be willing to just say no, and you don't need to explain why. Maybe you just don't want to do that. Start small. Maybe do something just for you, even if other people don't get it. Like me, for instance, my living area, and you've probably seen on other videos, I have Disney stuff here and there. In fact, you can see my coffee cups in the back, and I have Disney pictures on the wall and things, because it brings me joy. I'm not a crazy Disney fanatic per se, but there's something of the innocence or the happiness that just brings me joy when I look at these things and I'm surrounded by them. So that's just for me. I don't have to explain it to anybody. Am I a Disney adult? I don't know, but I do enjoy the being surrounded by the Disney things. I think I've said in a different video that I don't really agree with the corporation of Disney. It's more like just the Mickey Mouse and the princesses. I think it's the innocence of it all. I enjoy having it around me. I used to own a daycare back in the day, and just the children and childlike things make me happy. There's probably a deep-rooted childhood thing that goes with that. God knows, but I don't care. That's what makes me happy. Replace, when you do say no, replace that guilt you might feel with gratitude for having the freedom to choose for yourself and not always being a people pleaser. It's great to do nice things for other people, but you shouldn't be burdened and all your choices be decided just worrying about how you're going to look in that other person's eyes, because that's a real quick way to burn out. Redefine success. Oh, I have a plane going over. Redefine success. The typical success was always, you grow up, you get married, you have a car, you have a house, you have a family, you have a good job, you have a good retirement, blah, 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 all the things. That was me too. And now I live a very simple life. I had all of that and I gave it away. I did. And I am currently living in my RV, which was a choice. I sold my house and I did some traveling and I'm still in the RV. But this last 3 years of living in the RV, I have simplified my life so much. It used to be about, the clothes and the shoes and all this stuff. Now, if I want a new sweatshirt, that means I have to get rid of another sweatshirt because there's only so much room in my closet. I can't just keep adding and adding and adding. And it's freeing because it makes me make more defined choices on what I want in my life, because I have a small space and I don't have a storage unit. It's just whatever I have in this RV is what I have, and it's just simplified my life so much. And I think even now, I've really been thinking about, what comes after the RV. It's probably going to be like a tiny home or just something very small. I like the small living, and I like the simpleness of it. I mean, I can have the whole place cleaned in 15 minutes. Floor mop, toilets done, everything. When I was at the height of my success, I had a 4,200 square foot house. I had, a yard and all the upkeep, and and then having to work so hard to be able to afford to maintain it and keep it and live at that level. It was exhausting, and I really enjoy some of the choices I've made for myself. And not everyone understands it, especially people that knew me then. They're like, they think of me as like sad and homeless or something, but I'm not. I'm happier than I've ever been. Life is simple. Life is easy. I don't have all that overhead that I have to maintain, and it's so free. It's also important to surround yourself with people that get you. If you're constantly around people that you have to impress, or you're worried about what they're thinking, or you can't be your authentic self around them, then lose them. I have to say though, when I took off in the RV a few years ago and went out by myself for about a year, I lost a lot of my friends because I just got disconnected, and I don't have a lot of friends now that I like, and I don't even think of those people's friends anymore. Though they were people I knew, and they were people that we did things with, and my life was busy and all this was going on, but were they someone I could call at 3 o'clock in the morning if I needed to? No, I didn't have anyone like that. And now I have like 1 or 2 people like that in my life, and that's plenty. That's plenty. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. You deserve a life that is authentically yours, not something that just looks good from the outside. Don't worry about what other people think. Be you. Be authentically you. And honestly, it takes a while to get there. It takes a while to become authentically you when you've been living to please other people for so long. So that's it. But I want you to ask yourself, who are you living for? Are you living your true authentic self? Are you letting go of all the expectations that were put on you over the years? Are you truly happy? Think about it. Until next time.